Behind Hollywood's glittering facade hide chilling secrets. From unsolved mysteries and brutal betrayals to the fatal errors that silenced icons in their prime. Find out why a beloved Disney legend ended up in an unmarked grave and what sinister shadow truly haunted Marilyn Monroe. The truth behind these tragedies will shock even the most hardened fans. But before starting this video, please subscribe to the channel and like it. This will help develop the channel. 1. Jenny Maxwell, 1941, 1981, 39 years old. Jenny Maxwell was a figure of striking potential. A bright-eyed actress whose career in the late 1950 seconds and early 1960 seconds showed immense promise. She is perhaps best remembered for her compelling performance in the film Blue Denim, 1959, a role that showcased her ability to convey deep, youthful vulnerability. Beyond the silver screen, she became a familiar face to television audiences through her memorable guest appearances on iconic series such as The Twilight Zone and 77 Sunset Strip. Her backstory was one of resilience. Born in Germany to parents who had survived the darkest horrors of the Holocaust, she moved to the United States, carrying the weight of history, eventually finding her way to the bright lights of Hollywood. However, the pressures of the industry led her to step away from the limelight in the 1960 seconds, choosing instead to focus on a quieter existence centered around family life. Yet, tragedy has a way of finding even those who seek peace. Her journey reached a sudden and violent conclusion on the 10th of June, 1981, outside her Los Angeles home. In what was intended to be a simple arrival, she and her husband were confronted during a robbery. The encounter escalated into senseless violence, and Jenny Maxwell's light was extinguished on the pavement of her own driveway. The crime remained a cold mystery for years, with whispers and rumors suggesting a connection to her husband's complex business dealings, but no answers could undo the loss. Her departure at the age of 40 cut short a life that had sought tranquility after early fame, leaving behind a lingering sense of sorrow for a woman who had already overcome so much. 2. Adrienne Ames, 1907, 1947, 39 years old. Adrienne Ames was the epitome of the sophisticated leading lady during the 1930 seconds, a golden era of cinema. She was renowned for her performances in pre-code dramas, most notably The Nightclub Lady, 1932, where her regal beauty, sharp wit, and commanding screen presence captivated audiences across the nation. She possessed an air of elegance that seemed effortless, making her a favorite among moviegoers who admired high society charm. When the shifting tides of the film industry caused her on-screen opportunities to wane, she did not fade away. Instead, she smoothly transitioned to the medium of radio, hosting the widely popular The Adrienne Ames Show in the 1940 seconds. Behind the microphone, however, she was fighting a silent and formidable battle. Ames struggled with a severe malignancy for several years. In a display of immense courage that was incredibly rare for stars of her era, she faced her illness openly, even discussing her condition on air, to raise awareness and offer comfort to others facing similar trials. Sadly, her fight ended on the 31st of March 1947, when she succumbed to her ailment at just 39 years old. Her departure was felt deeply by her colleagues, who remembered her not just for her talent, but for the professionalism, warmth, and dignity she maintained until her final moments. She left behind a legacy of poise that transcended the screen. 3. Anna Nicole Smith, 1967-2007, 39 years old. Anna Nicole Smith's trajectory was nothing short of meteoric. She skyrocketed to global fame as a Playboy playmate and the face of Guess jeans, her image recalling the classic bombshells of yesteryear. She quickly became a household name, her blonde ambition captivating the media. Her life took a dramatic and controversial turn when she married billionaire J. Howard Marshall, a man 63 years her senior. This high-profile union, combined with her eccentric reality show, The Anna Nicole Show, and the prolonged, bitter legal battles over Marshall's estate, kept her constantly in the public eye. Despite the flashbulbs and fame, Smith's personal world was tumultuous and filled with pain. She struggled profoundly with dependency and endured the shattering loss of her beloved son, Daniel. In 2006, a blow from which she never truly recovered. On the 8th of February 2007, the world was shocked when she was found unresponsive in a Florida hotel room. Medical examiners later determined that she had drifted into an eternal sleep due to an accidental combination of prescription medications. Much like her idol, Marilyn Monroe, Nicole Smith's life was a complex tapestry of glamour and profound sorrow. Her departure at 39 cemented her status as both a pop culture icon and a cautionary tale about the consuming nature of celebrity. 4. Barbara Payton, 1927, 1967, 39 years old. Barbara Payton's story is one of the most heartbreaking descents in Hollywood history. She rose to prominence in the early 1950s, sharing the screen with cinematic giants such as James Cagney in Kiss Tomorrow, Goodbye, and Gregory Peck in Only the Valiant. With her stunning looks and undeniable charisma, her career seemed destined for the highest echelons of stardom. However, her personal life became the fuel for scandalous tabloids, overshadowing her talent. A chaotic and public love triangle involving actors Franchot Tone and Tom Neal derailed her professional path, causing studios to turn their backs on her. By the 1960s, Payton's life had spiraled into severe hardship. No longer walking red carpets, she was reportedly trading her company for drinks in the dive bars of Sunset Boulevard, trapped in a cycle of self-destruction. On the 8th of May, 1967, her heart and liver finally gave out, a consequence of long-term struggles with alcohol. She was found alone in a squalid apartment, a stark contrast to the glitz of her early years. Barbara Payton's tragic end at 39 highlighted the ruthless and unforgiving nature of the industry, her story remaining a grim reminder of potential left unfulfilled and a soul lost to the darkness. 5. Sal Mineo, 1939, 1976, 37 years old. Sal Mineo burst onto the scene as a teen idol, earning an Academy Award nomination for his soulful and vulnerable portrayal of Plato in the classic Rebel Without a Cause, starring alongside James Dean. Known for his sensitive performances of troubled youths, Mineo proved his range by successfully transitioning into adult roles in theater and film, including a standout performance in Exodus, which earned him a Golden Globe. He was also a trailblazer, living openly as bisexual at a time when such honesty was dangerous in the entertainment industry. Mineo continued to work and evolve as an artist, but his journey was cut short by a senseless act of violence. On the 12th of February 1976, he was attacked in a parking lot near his West Hollywood apartment. What was initially thought to be a robbery gone wrong was later revealed to be a random attack by a stranger. A weapon pierced his chest, and he was taken from this world far too soon. The brutality of the event shocked the Hollywood community, silencing a talented voice that had so much more to give. His attacker was eventually brought to justice, but the senseless nature of his departure remains a haunting chapter in film history. 6. Marilyn Monroe, 1926, 1962, 36 years old. Marilyn Monroe stands as the ultimate symbol of glamour, sensuality, and star power. In 1950 Seconds Hollywood, she took the blonde bombshell archetype to dazzling new heights, blending innocence with allure. With her iconic platinum curls, breathless voice, and radiant smile, she starred in immortal classics such as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, The 7-Year Itch, and Some Like It Hot. She captivated audiences worldwide, becoming a cultural phenomenon whose image is instantly recognizable to this day. However, behind the glittering persona lay a woman who struggled deeply with personal demons, including mental health challenges and a series of tumultuous relationships. On the 5th of August 1962, the world stopped when she was found motionless in her Los Angeles home at the age of 36. The official report cited an overdose of barbiturates as the cause of her eternal slumber. Her untimely departure cemented her status as a tragic legend of Hollywood's golden age, leaving behind a legacy of beauty and sadness that continues to fascinate generations. 7. Renée Adorée, 1933, 36 years old. Renée Adorée, born in France, was one of the most celebrated stars of the silent film era in the 1,920 seconds. She gained widespread acclaim and adoration for her role as Melisande in the epic war drama The Big Parade, 1,925, which was one of the highest-grossing films of the decade. Her expressive eyes and emotive acting style made her a favorite of directors like King Vidor, and she was admired for her ability to convey complex feelings without uttering a single word. However, the technological revolution of talkies proved to be a significant hurdle for Adorée. Her thick French accent limited her casting opportunities in the new sound-driven Hollywood, and she struggled to adapt. To make matters worse, in 1929 she was diagnosed with tuberculosis, a devastating illness at the time. Her health deteriorated rapidly, forcing her into isolation in sanatoriums, where she endured a slow decline far from the spotlight she once commanded. On the 5th of October 1933, Renée Adorée breathed her last, at just 35 years old. Though she was forgotten for decades, her work has since been rediscovered by historians, reminding modern audiences of her immense talent and the fleeting nature of early stardom. 8. Jayne Mansfield, 1900, and 1967, 34 years old. Jayne Mansfield was Hollywood's alternative to Marilyn Monroe, a working man's Monroe, who embraced her campy, platinum blonde image with gusto. With her curvaceous figure and playful screen presence, she starred in films like The Girl Can't Help It, 1956, showcasing a surprising comedic timing. Her extravagant personal life, complete with a pink palace and a love for publicity, kept the gossip columns constantly buzzing. Tragically, Mansfield's vibrant life reached a catastrophic conclusion on the 29th of June, 1967. While traveling on a dark highway in Louisiana, the car she was in collided violently with the rear of a tractor trailer. The impact was devastating, and Mansfield, along with 2 other adults in the front seat, was taken from this world instantly. Miraculously, her 3 young children, who were asleep in the back seat, survived the wreckage with only minor injuries. Her sudden departure at only 34 fueled urban legends and eventually led to changes in trucking safety regulations. Despite her brief time in the spotlight, Mansfield remains an enduring figure of kitsch and glamour. 9. Carole Lombard, 1908, 1942, 33 years old. Carole Lombard was one of Hollywood's most beloved and respected actresses, celebrated for her razor-sharp wit, radiant beauty, and unmatched timing in screwball comedies. Born Jane Alice Peters, she rose to fame in the 1,930 seconds with hits like My Man Godfrey and 20th Century, earning the title of the Queen of Comedy. Her personal life was the stuff of fairy tales, particularly her marriage to the King of Hollywood, Clark Gable, which made them the ultimate power couple. Known for her fierce patriotism, she threw herself into supporting the war effort during World War II. It was on a return trip from a highly successful war bond tour that tragedy struck. On the 16th of January, 1942, the plane carrying Lombard crashed into the side of a mountain in Nevada. Every soul on board perished in the fiery wreckage. She was just 33 years old. Her loss left Gable inconsolable and cast a pall over Hollywood. Lombard's legacy as a trailblazing actress and a woman of immense spirit remains untouched by time. 10. Robert Walker, 1918, 1951, 32 years old. Robert Walker was a gifted actor whose boyish charm disguised a profound emotional depth. He is best remembered today for his chilling, against-type performance as the charming sociopath Bruno Anthony in Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece, Strangers on a Train. Before that, he had won hearts in films like Since You Went Away and The Clock. Despite his professional success, Walker battled severe personal struggles, including alcoholism and mental health issues, which were exacerbated by the breakdown of his marriage to actress Jennifer Jones. In August 1951, while undergoing psychiatric treatment, Walker suffered a catastrophic reaction to a sedative administered by his doctors. The medication caused his respiratory system to fail, and he passed into the great beyond at just 32 years old. His sudden departure was a shock to the industry, occurring just as he was receiving the best reviews of his career. He left behind a legacy of brilliant performances and a lingering question of what greatness he might have achieved had he been given more time. 11. Rudolph Valentino, 1895, 1926, 31 years old. Rudolph Valentino was the original Latin lover, a screen idol who defined the concept of the male sex symbol in the silent era. Born in Italy, he immigrated to the U.S. and found massive fame with films like The Sheik and The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. His smoldering gaze and passionate on-screen persona caused a sensation among women worldwide, setting the template for the romantic leading man. However, his internal health betrayed him. In August 1926, Valentino was hospitalized with severe abdominal pain. He was diagnosed with peritonitis and a ruptured ulcer. Despite surgery, the infection spread, and he succumbed to the condition at the tender age of 31. The news of his departure triggered mass hysteria unlike anything seen before. Distraught fans rioted in the streets of New York, desperate to pay their respects at his open casket. His legend only grew after he left us, cementing him as an eternal icon of romance and tragedy. 12. Bobby Driscoll, 1937, 1968, 31 years old. Bobby Driscoll was one of the brightest young stars of his time, serving as the prototype for Disney's live-action films. He won a Juvenile Academy Award for The Window, 1949, and immortalized himself by providing the voice and visual reference for Peter Pan in Disney's 1953 classic. But as adolescence set in, the studio system that had built him up discarded him. Unable to transition to adult roles and suffering from the harsh rejection of the industry, Driscoll turned to narcotics to numb the pain. His life spiraled downward into addiction and poverty. He drifted into obscurity, eventually landing in the underground art scene of New York. In March 1968, two children playing in an abandoned tenement discovered his lifeless form. He had succumbed to heart failure induced by years of substance abuse. Tragically, he carried no identification and was buried in a pauper's grave on Hart Island. It was nearly 2 years before his mother was able to trace his fingerprints and confirm that the lost soul was indeed her son, the former golden boy of Hollywood. 13. Thelma Todd, 1906, 1935, 29 years old. Thelma Todd was a vivacious comedian known as the Ice Cream Blonde and Hot Toddy. She appeared in over 120 films, often acting as the perfect foil for comedy duos like Laurel and Hardy and the Marx Brothers. She was also a savvy businesswoman, running a successful seaside cafe in Pacific Palisades. Her infectious laugh and charm made her a beloved figure during the Depression era. On the morning of the 16th of December, 1935, Todd was found slumped over the steering wheel of her car in a garage near her cafe. The engine was cold, but she was gone. The official ruling was carbon monoxide poisoning, but the circumstances were shrouded in mystery. With rumors of mob extortion, a violent ex-lover, and unexplained bruises on her face, many believe she had met with foul play. To this day, the truth of how Thelma Todd's life ended remains one of Hollywood's most enduring and debated cold cases. 14. Simone Silva, 1928, 1957, 29 years old. Simone Silva was a British actress who briefly captured the world's attention during the 1954 Cannes Film Festival. In a publicity stunt gone awry, she posed topless next to Robert Mitchum, causing a scandal that rippled through the conservative press of the time. While the incident gave her fleeting notoriety, she struggled to build a substantial film career. Silva faced immense pressure to maintain the unrealistic physical standards demanded by the industry. She engaged in extreme dieting to keep her weight down, a practice that took a severe toll on her body. On the 20th of September 1957, the strain proved too much, and she suffered a stroke that ended her life at just 29. Her departure serves as a stark commentary on the dangerous lengths to which performers were and often still are pushed to satisfy the public's gaze. 15. Jean Harlow, 1911. Jean Harlow was a force of nature, the original platinum blonde, who lit up the screen with her sass and raw appeal. She was a comedic genius and a dramatic powerhouse, starring in hits like Dinner at 8 and Libeled Lady. By age 25, she was one of MGM's biggest assets and a global superstar. However, her health was fragile. In 1937, she fell ill with uremic poisoning, a condition caused by kidney failure. In an era before dialysis and antibiotics were widely available, her condition was dire. Complicating matters were her mother's strict religious beliefs, which allegedly delayed medical intervention. On the 7th of June, 1937, Jean Harlow's struggle ended, and she left this world at the heartbreakingly young age of 26. Her departure devastated her fiancé, William Powell, and left a void in Hollywood that could never be filled. 16. Russ Columbo, 1908, 1934, 26 years old. Russ Columbo was a crooner with a voice like velvet, a romantic idol who was often compared to Bing Crosby. With his handsome looks and musical talent, he was on the verge of superstardom in both radio and film. He was also a talented composer, writing songs that are still standards today. His story ended in a bizarre and tragic accident on the 2nd of September, 1934. While visiting a friend, the two were examining a collection of antique firearms. Believing a Civil War-era pistol to be unloaded, the friend lit a match to see the mechanism. The gun discharged, and the projectile struck Columbo. He lingered for a few hours before succumbing to the injury. A promising life and career were extinguished in a split second of carelessness, leaving fans to wonder what heights he might have reached. 17. Olive Thomas, 1894, 1920, 25 years old. Olive Thomas was one of the very first flappers, a spirited young woman who rose from the Ziegfeld Follies to become a silent film star. Her marriage to Jack Pickford, the brother of America's sweetheart Mary Pickford, made them the ultimate celebrity couple of the early 20th century. They lived hard and fast, embodying the jazz age. In September 1920, the couple was vacationing in Paris, trying to salvage their rocky marriage. One night, after a party, Olive accidentally ingested a solution of mercury bichloride, a toxic substance often used for cleaning or medication, mistaking it for sleeping potion or water. The chemical ravaged her system. She fought for several days in a French hospital, but ultimately departed on the 10th of September 1920 at the age of 25. Her loss was the first major scandal of the 1920 seconds, casting a shadow over the carefree image of the era. 18. James Dean, 1931, 1955, 24 years old. James Dean remains the eternal face of youthful rebellion. With only 3 major film credits, East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant, he shifted the paradigm of acting, bringing a raw, method approach that redefined masculinity on screen. He was the embodiment of cool, a misunderstood genius who spoke to a generation. His passion for speed, however, led to his end. On the 30th of September, 1955, while driving his Porsche 550 Spyder to a racing event, Dean was involved in a catastrophic collision at a highway intersection in California. The impact was absolute. He was taken from the wreckage, his life ending instantly at 24. His departure turned him into a mythological figure. He became the only actor to receive 2 posthumous Academy Award nominations, and his image continues to adorn bedroom walls around the world. 19. Dorothy Stratten, 1960-1980, 20 years old. Dorothy Stratten was a figure of angelic beauty who rose from a waitress in Vancouver to becoming the Playboy Playmate of the Year in 1980. She had crossed over into mainstream acting, showing great potential in the film Galaxina and earning a role in They All Laughed. She was seen as the next big thing, a sweet-natured girl with the world at her feet, but her past would not let her go. On the 14th of August 1980, she went to meet her estranged husband, Paul Snider, to finalize their separation. In a fit of jealousy and despair, he ended her life with a shotgun before turning the weapon on himself. Stratten was just 20 years old. Her gruesome and heartbreaking end exposed the dark underbelly of the glamour industry and the possessiveness that some men feel over the women they claim to love. Her story was later immortalized in the film Star 80. 20. Dorothy Dell, 1915, 1934, 19 years old. Dorothy Dell was a stunning talent who seemed to have it all. A former Miss Universe, she had transitioned seamlessly into movies, stealing scenes in Wharf Angel and Little Miss Marker. Critics compared her to Mae West for her sass and confidence. She was under a lucrative contract and destined for the A-list, but fate intervened on the 8th of June, 1934. While returning from a party, the car she was riding in skidded off the road and collided with a telephone pole and a boulder. Dell was thrown from the vehicle and perished at the scene. She was only 19 years old. Just days before, she had sung a song titled "Was It a Dream?", a poignant epitaph for a life that ended before it had truly begun. Her departure served as a cruel reminder that youth and beauty offer no protection against the fragility of existence. Which of these stories resonated with you the most? If you found value in this tribute, please share your thoughts. It helps keep the memory of these stars alive. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and like it. It really helps with channel promotion.